and welcome to Black and White Day.
Yeah, we are back, baby, and we are black and white.
Not for the whole time. So,
Huh?
not really. We're in color, too. So,
So,
anyway, we have been really busy. And today is going to be about black and white photography. And we're going to be shooting it with one light. Right?
yeah, you know what?
I think so.
You forgot something. We agree on something you forgot.
Huh.
We're going to say that today is about black and white, and we see you after the intro. What is the intro?
Yeah, I know. But my name is Rome Versace Giovanni. And you are?
And my name is Alex Costa. You can see it here. Down here,
Exactly.
because Ron put it down here, you know?
Anyway, we'll be right back. All right. So, love. So, we are going to be showing basically the black and white photography and how really it's easier to understand light and the intensities of light through a black and white image. So, in the back
Yeah,
of
black
your
and white ends up, it takes all the color out, is much less information for you to look at it and make your decisions about light. So it's kind of much easier,
right.
at least in
So,
my opinion.
and one thing that you should know is that if you set your camera in monochrome, okay, to view it on the back of the camera in monochrome, but you shoot in RAW, you will still have a color image. Just to give you that hint.
Yeah. This thing is kind of, this new setup is kind of funny because I don't know if we are live or not. I know because you're talking
We
to
are.
our audience, so I know it. And I just realized now that I will not be able to read the comments. You're going to have to read them for me.
That is right.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't realize that till 5 minutes ago.
No, that's
so,
fine. I got
well, that's it. So
And
we're gonna shoot with one
so
light. Of course,
Rafael
we're gonna
Sala
show you much.
says Bora.
Hmm?
Rafael says Bora.
Bora.
And Zeca Costa says
Yeah.
AI Galera.
E aí, galera, o Rome speaking Portuguese, that's something you don't see every day. So if you like that, just leave a like,
know.
subscribe, and you'll see Rome speaking
just
Portuguese much
Try
more.
to read it. All right, so the black and white thing, this is one way that I like to shoot, and I think Alex now shoots that way also, is that we like to put our cameras in that black and white setting. You know, the monochrome view on the back of the viewfinder. This gives us basically no color, so we can focus on light intensity and how the light is interacting. You can see the shadows deeper, and you'll understand if there's light in that shadow or not. So that's one of the reasons why we like to shoot that way, and we will always shoot that way. And we got
Yeah, it doesn't matter if I'm gonna shoot or
Tiago-
color, if the final result will be color or not. I always shoot on black and white on the back of my camera.
Tiago Lino says Bora.
Bora lá, Thiago, bora lá.
Ksenia
Um,
Lateo says hi guys.
Yeah. Guess who that one is?
Oh yeah, it's his
My
wife.
wife, Rome. How you don't know that?
Привет.
This is my beautiful wife. At the gym at the moment.
Well, she's watching us at the moment.
She's watching us, yeah. So we work
yeah.
a lot. We are trying to drive the show to this live shooting. And if you see, the first show we did, a real live shoot, was not that good. The second one was a bit better. And we are getting better and better and better. So this is the third one, I guess. Apart from the first one when you shot Mel,
Yeah.
this is the third one. and we appreciate your feedback
Yes.
on the audio and the image
How do we sound
and
right
how we
now?
run the show. Yeah,
I'm curious.
because soon we're gonna. I'm gonna just change all the setup. I'll go for a lavalier mic. I'll go for a wireless headset, so I can go to the studio and actually shoot. And we want to know. Tell us how we sound.
And I can tell you, I am the driver. So if I mess something up, I'm learning this thing. So it's fun.
Turning my stuff on here.
All right. I'll switch to me. So while he's getting ready, all right, the first thing we want to do is you want to learn basically how black and white works. Okay. So black and white goes from 0 to 255 in the scale. Okay. Middle is, your 50% gray. So using gray cards works amazingly well when you're using this type of method. And we are getting almost to that point. Let's see. And we are basically wanting to show you guys that looking through a monochrome image, you're going to see how color can play a big part in the fact that your mind doesn't think in shades. It's going to be thinking with color intertwining with shades, which that in turn kind of confuses the mind a little bit. So we definitely don't want to do that, and by keeping it in black and white, you can actually see the image, and a good black and white will be a good color. Okay, depending on if you got your color, offsets off. But other than that, most of the time it's actually really well. And just checking in on Alex here. He's not there yet. So, you there, Alex? Not yet. Okay. So we are, when you look at a black and white image, okay, you don't want the highlights to be too hot. And in black and white, you can see it because it turns white, right? And you definitely don't want white, because white is not going to work out very well. Because then your highlights are going to be really hot. So let's go back over here to Alex. And there he is in the studio.
And we are here. My small studio is a spare bedroom in my house. So it's where I do most of my shoots. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're kind of loud.
I'm too loud?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll talk a bit not that loud.
Yeah, there you go.
So this is where I do most of my shoots, if not all of them. Sometimes I rent a studio, but most of the shoots are done here. This is Annabelle. She's here too. And what we're gonna do, as Rom said, we are going for a very minimalist setup. Okay, I have 4 lights here, but we're just gonna use one with a 2x3 softbox. As the space here is very small, we are talking about, 10, 13, around 13 feet, 13 this way and 13 this way. I'll keep using the grid because I want to control the light on my background. So I'm using a grid on this softbox that we're going to use for controlling. Let me turn things on. Keep talking, Ron.
Sure. And during the time that we're going to be doing this, we have 3 cameras set up. So you're seeing the full behind. This one here is the model view, so you can kind of see it from a different angle. And of course, we have Alex's main, where basically he'll be talking. And we may show all 4, which all 4 will show basically what we're seeing as it's coming through. And you can see all the different angles to understand where distances are and all that stuff.
So, as everybody knows by now, we advocate for the use of this thing instead of this thing. But as my model cannot hold the gray card, her hand is not that it's not that good. She doesn't have any joints. I'll have to use the light meter for now.
Or use a piece of tape, tape it to her head.
Oh, that's really bad, you know. So let's put the model right in front of here. So I'm using a 45-degree angle. I'm bringing the light as close as I can to my model, and I'm using a 45 degrees angle down. So this is gonna give like a handband-ish light. Not be perfect, but it's already good enough. Do you have the images there? So the meter is set to the light is off. Wait. Oh, you can see here. The meter is set to 1/60, 100. I don't know if you're showing the right camera, but 100 ISO, and it's giving me f8 and almost a third. So let's see how this looks. I don't know if my tethering is working fine. We're gonna know in a minute. Ron, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
So let's see. The image is going to you. I cannot see it from here.
Yeah,
That's something I have to solve.
As soon as it gets here, I'll switch this over.
That's something I should need to solve because I cannot see the image here, and it's really hard to fix my lights without seeing the image. So is that one?
Yep.
Yeah, it's that one. So, what is the first thing you can notice in this image? Is the contrast of the image. You can see now really deep shadows, like really deep shadows, and you have a bright part on her face. So, Ron, what did we talk, I think, was the last 2 weeks on how to solve this and get a more even exposure?
Yeah, you pull it away. Square law rule.
So, square law rule. This is not a picture you want to deliver to your customer. This is not a picture you want to use at all, just because of the shadows. The shadows are too harsh.
Actually,
So, what we're going to do,
turn the
you can talk.
turn the model's head towards the light and reshoot it.
I will do it. Oh, in this way?
Yeah.
Okay. Should not look very good with her face to the light. No, should not look very good anyway.
Well, the thing is you always want your model to face your main light.
Yeah, you're right. So it's 2F8. Didn't change anything. So let's go grab her. So that's the first important thing. Yeah, I cannot see the pictures here. So the picture is coming.
Yep. So now let's go enable black and white. So now you can see in the black and white image where the highlights are and where the shadows are.
Can you show it in color so they can
Yeah, they've seen it in
see
color.
the difference?
So here's the color image, and here's the black
Okay,
and
this is a
white.
much better image. Just with one touch that is turning the model head to the light. So you get a much better image because the shadows are falling in a flattering way. The shadows are falling under her chin instead of falling right on her face.
And you can see that side by side. This is more of a dramatic look. So it's coming from the side. You can see how the nose point is below the actual nose line, which is good because that means you got a good loop. And then when she turns her head towards it, you kind of get a smaller loop, but you're looking at the under shadow here is a lot less. So you can see some of that neck.
Yeah, and as the modifier is really close to the model and is really big compared to the size of her face, you get a soft light and this is good for people who have bad skin, you know. So the first image is not that I kind of was incisive about, and I don't want to be. It's not that you cannot use. Of course, you can use in a dramatic way. You can put a kicker, a highlight, or something just to get a better image. But it's not my thing, you know. I think the shadows are too harsh.
Right.
So let's try to bring the light a bit back.
Now, another thing if you notice is that he moved the light and he moved it probably close by an inch, and you could see the difference in light intensity in the black and white. If you notice, the light intensity on the first image was not as bright as that second one. You can see the highlights on that.
You're right. You're right. I just got a bit closer, so you see the brightness of the whole face is a bit more. The levels of exposure is a bit more.
Mind you, it's a mannequin, so of course it's going to be a little more shinier than normal, but you can see it here how it's the normal color in like the forehead. You could see the skin was really nice, and then when you see it 1 inch closer, actually it's probably like 2 inches closer. He had it
so
a nice
I
little
kind of double the distance. I lost one stop. So I came from f8 to f5.6. Is this camera? Sorry.
Yep.
f5.6. So let's get the same shot now and see how the shadows fall down. Let me turn her face a bit more to the light.
Don't you love models that don't move?
Don't you? Well, it makes it easier in the sense of they don't move. But you cannot say, hey, can you tilt your head just a bit? Just a tad?
Just a little bit. So, yeah. They don't gripe. That's what I like about them.
Is it done? Oh,
There
forget it. I forgot to change my aperture, so it's going to be underexposed. I'll take it again.
Just a little bit.
It takes some time because I don't know which of you know this, but I'm in São Paulo, Brazil, and Rome is in Huntsville, Alabama. So we are shooting over the internet. Every time I click here, it goes to my computer and sends to his computer.
Right. So now you can see he's in the zone, right? Because now look at the skin. The skin, well, it ain't skin, but you can see how that highlight was a heck of a lot less. And it's more on point. And then if we switch over to color, you can see everything is on point. So that's one of the things that I look at is, in fact, you could probably up it about a third of a stop, honestly. You're not using the
I'm
gray color.
fired a third, yeah, I'm fired over a third of stop because it's 56.2 2/10. So
Yeah.
now I'm a third of a stop down. So you get a third picture now. The trouble is right on point.
So there we go. That looks better. So now you can see he was about a third of a stop down on this side, and then he brought it back, and there it is. And now you can see it in black and white.
Look the huge difference that it makes. 1/3
Right.
of stop.
And now if I turn on color, you can see it's exactly identical, right? You got darker image, and then you got a well-exposed image. So
When I
that's,
use a reflector,
yeah, you can bring the reflector in behind her. So now with one light, there's a lot of things you could do with one light. I mean, he could raise that light up high and he could shoot a beauty shot. Now we're going to take a reflector, bounce that reflector back into the back shoulder to give some separation light. There's a lot of different ways.
we don't have a plan for this, so we are just shooting and have fun. So if you have any questions, if you want to see any setups, just tell us and we will do it. And Ron, what I guess what we can do is we just set the reflector right here so we can have a separation light. And then I can change the flashlight and we can do a clamshell.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that because we're showing them what one light does. So,
Well, with the reflector.
yeah. So, like, you know,
So,
most people in our audience have one light. And that's why we're trying to show a one light and also utilizing black and white so you can understand how to see intensity of the light without mixing it in with the colors. Because if you look at this as a shiny, let me switch to just a single one here.
I didn't hear what you want to do with the reflector. You want to use a separation or as a fill?
Yeah, use it as a step. Just bring it behind the shoulder, like
Okay.
in series with the light. Like right in front of your other light. Right in front of your kicker, yeah. And probably bring it closer because it's going to be
If I go anymore, it's going to be in the frame.
Yep. So, you know, looking at color, if you look at the way this color looks, right? You look at it and you really don't see the zones unless you've been shooting for quite a while, right? So by making it to monochrome, you can literally see the hot zones, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5, zone 6, all the way down. And that's what makes it nice.
Okay, we are doing answer though. We are doing zone system now.
Well, I mean, that's basically what it is. So,
I just sent you one more. But yeah, you can actually see the different shades of gray that compose the image, and you can really see the light working on it. Did you get the next one?
I don't think so, because I'm not seeing there it is. All right, so now if we go here, now you can see on the arm, you see this nice separation. So it's giving this nice little, you might can move it a little bit closer. You got a little white thing in there. Is that the end of the
It's
reflector?
probably the reflector in the shot.
Yeah. But you could probably raise the reflector slightly too. Put it on the back of the head. So you're looking at where this light's going to be hitting, okay? And you see that side of the arm right there where it has a nice slight rim. But we're going to try to pick it up a little bit to get it up in this hair.
No, there's another thing that makes kind of weird is because we are shooting 5.6 and I have so much video light, so many video lights here that probably this is affecting the image.
No, you're shooting fast enough. It shouldn't.
Yesterday on my test, I had to shoot on F10 to not completely the video lights.
So looking at the before image, you can see there's how the hair just fades off into the darkness, right? So there's absolutely no way to see where that edge of the shoulder is. You can't see the edge of the arm. You know, it's just fading in the black. Now, if that's what you're looking for, good. But what you're wanting to look at now is now you can see the hair. Let me turn off the color. So now you can see where the hair's stopping, right? And you can see that nice edge all the way down. Okay. So now looking at both of them side by side. Well, that's all three. Hold on. All right. So now looking at them side by side, see how you can see now the edge of the arm. So you know where that edge is ending. And if we go up to the top, you can see how the hair is not just going in the black. You can see all this nice texture in the hair. And you could even spin that to the silver or gold and add a little more kick.
The silver will be hard because I have to change all the
No, that's fine. Just
reflector, but the gold one
flip the
we can
gold.
use right now. I just need to. But guys, one thing that we need to really make clear here, we are working with one light and one reflector. If you don't have a reflector, then board, you can just use a cardboard, a white cardboard. That doesn't cost any money. Oh, at least not too much money. And you can get results that are sellable. We're gonna do a clean shower and we're gonna see. The difference about the white reflector and this gold one, apart from the warmer light, is that this gold one is gonna reflect more light than the white one. You just put a bit closer. Which camera is this one? I don't.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not leave my back. To camera. This is kind of hard, you know.
It's camera 2.
I don't know which one is the two. I don't have the label.
I don't know. I just thought that
But
was
I think
funny.
it's that one.
Yeah, it's
It's
that one.
that one.
So yeah.
So
and-
here you can see my whole studio while the picture is processing. You can see the whole studio, and it's a really small place.
And yeah, he has
This
a light.
is
He has a light that's right next to him, and he also has a light that's on the kicker side, but those are off, so there's no lights actually going.
yeah. This is the only light that is on. This is the only one. This one is off. There is another one down here is off, and there's the kicker off.
Yeah. So now, if we look at the last two, the gold actually pushes a little bit harder on the arm. If you look, you can see how it pulled a little bit more of that edge. And in the hair, you can see it a lot better
Wanna go for the
in
silver?
this area. No, it's fine. So,
I can just change it.
and if we flip it to color, I'll show you. Now you can see that gold reflector actually put a nice coloring in the hair. You know, it comes down. You can see how it's got that gold glow. With the silver, it'd be more of a white glow. It'd be a more intense of this. But you can see how this way, when you look at it here, you actually would think this is hotter now than this because of color. But now,
Yeah, but there is a way to fix it.
but if you go in here and you look at the black and white, it's not much hotter, which is one of the nice parts. Yeah, I know about your CTO, Joe.
That's the next week, okay?
Yeah, we'll be doing gels. So, all right. So now let's move it into a clamshell pattern so we can show them
Okay,
one
so
light with clamshell.
Just bring only you in the live and let me do my stuff. Take me out of the.
I think they want to watch you.
They want to watch me moving stuff around.
Sure. So
Okay. So at least the
but yeah. So
wide angle.
so yeah. So now when we're looking at black and white, you know, I'm looking at these highlights. I'm looking at the shadows. You know, in this case, this shadow looks really well. It's soft. The highlight's a little hot, but it's a mannequin, so you're not gonna really get that hot on the skin.
Yeah, and the translucent powder doesn't work with mannequins. At least not with mine.
Right. So you can see, I mean, look at the arms, they're identical. You know, basically everything looks the same on that. But then when you go to here, let's get rid of that one because that one's horrible. So here's without the light, and you can see how it's a pretty moody image. Okay, a lot of people ask me, how do I shoot moody shots? This is it. I mean, it's basically one light, probably anywhere from 3 to 5 feet in front of them, and I shoot it from where they're profiling themselves or they're slightly off profiling like this one, and the background has, you know, a wall or something like that. A lot of people ask me a lot of questions about one of the shots where the girl's sitting on the bed looking towards the bathroom. That's one of the shots that I get a lot of questions about. How do you do that? And I did that with a ring light. So using a ring light, you have to use a higher ISO, but it still does the same effect. So
Yeah, that's one who loves continuous light.
Norma Montiero de Costa says, Bom dia. Boa tarde.
Do you know who's that one?
No. Who's that?
That's Mom.
Oh, what's up, Norm?
Okay, I guess you can bring it back to me.
Can I?
As you can. Just let you set up a bit more. It's not 100%. Can you give the wide angle camera so I can explain what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Because in this angle, they'll not be able to see it. So this is what we call a clamshell light. And
You can bring it
you should
down.
put your
How much higher
one thing
than,
that is in,
how much higher in the head is it?
how much higher than the head is pointing to her forehead. The center of the softbox is pointing to her forehead.
Maybe it's just my angle. It just looks like it's high.
It's not really the way it's supposed. It's supposed to be more angular to her, but let's see if I can fix it.
Yeah, you definitely will. If you want, you can get
It's
that
just-
get that reflector close.
Hmm?
Make the reflector flat and get it close. Like right about where the waist is. Yeah. There you go.
Now
That way
let's
we
find the
get the
camera.
reflection.
So let me see how much light's coming because now I change all the setup and so 7. Have to raise a bit the. What do you want? 221?
Yeah.
1? Seven to 4 is okay for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
4.5?
So now what he's doing is he's got the light up high, shooting basically a butterfly effect. And with the butterfly effect, it's going to bounce off of that lower reflector. This is basically a headshot style setup with one light. So
Yeah, basically, this is one of my favorite lights. This is a beauty light. So we have a main light illuminating the face and creating shadows down. And we have the reflector softening the shadows. Oh, that's amazing. It's not perfect, but it's cool. It's really good.
yeah, it's cool. Her head should be down.
Can you
though.
notice? Yeah, the head doesn't go down.
Yeah, I know.
One thing to notice is not a perfect butterfly. Why is not a perfect butterfly? If you see the nose, you see it's kind of my softbox is not straight on her face.
He
I'll
punched her
not
in the
lose my
nose.
time. I'll not lose my time trying to fix it right now because this is just a demonstration. But
Right.
you need to try to get the softbox is straight in the face, so the butterfly gets straight under the nose. And then you put this under. This is my favorite light setup. I do it with 2 softboxes. One does it with 2 huge screws.
Pull it out, take a shot, and put it back in.
Pull what out?
The reflector.
Reflector?
Yeah. So now we're gonna do sort of a glamour one light, kind of like the
That's a basic. That's a
20s
basic
to
power.
40s. Yeah. Is that bottom light on? No.
No.
Uh,
So,
This way I can show the similarities of what that is doing.
yeah, what I like is that shadow in the neck, the gradient in
Yeah.
the neck.
It softens it. It's basically a fill light from the bottom to fill in the shadows. So this is without the fill. So you can see how much that fill does.
Amazing, isn't it?
I mean, this is
Can you zoom in and show the
yeah, that's what I'm
gradient?
doing. So
Oh, just one thing more, Ron. Can you make it black and white?
yeah, I was gonna do that just now. So now you can see with the reflector and without the reflector. And you can see how it makes a very soft shadow gradation, whereas this one is more of a harder, deeper gradation because you're filling that shadow with that one little reflector. And if you notice,
And
everything,
even with a mannequin that has white skin, you can see that this is something that will go in a cover of a beauty product. In the
And-
package of a beauty product.
one thing that's really nice is that you can actually see how the light falls on a model. So without the reflector, you can see how that light falls straight down, right? Whatever angle that light's facing, it's coming straight. And you can see how the brow line here causes the shadows under the eye, right? You can see that lower eyelid creates a little shadow, deeper shadow here. The lips create shadows in the lips. And then as you come down, it makes that deeper shadow under the chin, right? But the light,
And if you stop to think right now, you just show everywhere you have to burn in the image. The camera just enough.
and not just that, you'll see every pimple too.
Yep.
Look at her
So-
nose. In
yeah,
fact,
she has
look at
she
the
has
nose.
really good skin.
You look at the nose where he damaged her. You look at that nose, you can see how it lightened up the blemish in the nose, right? Which helps when you go to do editing because you're able to move faster with less editing repertoire. Time is money.
Yeah, and you can just another thing that is just overexpose just a bit, and you get less texture if you overexpose with the
Right.
reflector up under.
So now, this might be your look. I mean, if you're looking for a dramatic image, this is a one light basically this was a beauty dish or something you could stick up there. This one's a 2x3 softbox. I like to use beauty dishes or octoboxes.
Yeah, I could have the beauty dish here, but
Right. We're trying
the
to
soft
save.
boxes here.
We're trying to save it so you could see him. So we're using a 2x3 in order to do it.
Yeah, honestly, Ron knows that. I use a 5-foot umbrella to do this,
Right.
or a beauty dish. But as we have the video lights, I just put the 5-foot umbrella here, and I just lost all the video lights because it covered everything.
So yeah, so I mean, for dramatics, I mean, I can tell you, fashion shoot, this one light setup can do a lot with fashion. Now, of course, you're gonna want that rear separation light so you can ensure that there's nothing going in the black. But if we
One
go,
thing that's pretty big and fashion with one light, of course, the modifier will be much bigger than this one, but if that will look against the backdrop, with the light far from the model, creating the shadow on the backdrop. Let me see if I can set up this here. Give me a few seconds.
Yeah, just take the softbox off and put the standard reflector on there.
Really?
Yeah, standard 8-inch reflector.
What?
You'll see how. I mean, you want to know how it's shot? I'll show you how it's shot.
I don't even think I have a standard reflector right here. I'm gonna have to grab one. Just keep talking to our audience so
Yeah.
they don't go away.
So you can see here how the dramatics looks on the full size. And then when we go to switch it to color, you can see everything is still exactly how it should be. Okay. Looking at it from the black and white side, you know, you can see even more of what that dramatic looks like. And if I go in here, bear with me a second because it's been a while since I used this. If I was too dark, you can see how easy it is to see the darkness and lightness. Now remember when I said
We're gonna go 7 inches.
yeah, that's fine. And if you were, say, one stop over, right? So let's just go one stop here. Now you can see how bright she is. She's almost white, right? She's like a half shade off of white. That's what you don't want. And that's what actually creates a overpowered. And we got somebody saying goat eating money or something like that. So it was like goat eating money. So now if we go to this one image, so you can see how over bright she is. She's almost to that white point. Okay. And then if we switch over and look at the color, it's going to be identical. See how bright she is? So seeing it in color, you know, you might like the eyes, but you can see how it's definitely a huge play because you're not seeing all that color differentiation. Like here's a nice, you know, gradient that goes right there. In color, it doesn't look like you could see that gradient as much, right? So that's one of the things that we focus on.
Just give me 1 second, Ron.
So if we go back here, switch back over, bring the exposure back to 0. And if it was underexposed, say by a third, right? So now you'll look at it in the camera, and this is actually the image you could see in the camera, and you'd be like, it looks a little dark. Well, you're right. It's a little dark. So you come in and you can see she's darker, right? And like I said, it never messes with the color. If it looks good in black and white, it looks good in color. It's always been that way. I don't think I've ever seen not being that way.
F11.
Yep. Welcome to fashion level.
Welcome to reflectors. Probably my light's not high enough, but let's see.
No, you should be.
As I said, I cannot see the pictures in the back of the camera because they are going to run. And I set up things in the wrong way.
I think I knows how to hide this. Still haven't figured that out. All right.
We're learning, guys. I hope this one is better than. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. She's just too close to the ship. Yeah.
You need to bring the light probably a little more to the right or in front of her.
To her right or her left?
Your right.
Her left.
Her left.
Oh, you want a straight shot?
Not fully straight.
Okay.
Just like an inch off. That way you get
This will
that
be what you want.
shadow right. So now let's see. I'm just curious.
And one thing that Ron was saying when we were talking about the clamshell with the reflector, it's very important to do what he said. That is, first you shoot without the reflector, then you put the reflector. How the light is falling. You need to fix the light before putting the reflector. If you put everything together,
Right.
you're not going to be able to know which light's coming from. So, right here, I am by myself. So,
You're talking.
this is the light we are using. We are using a standard reflector. This is a beam, a C stand.
Yeah, that
I
looks
don't know how
much
to call
better.
this in English. And it's kind of almost falling.
Right. So now you can see this is more of that high fashion look, right? So
Yeah, I want to shoot some of those today.
this has that deep shadow around the edge and all that. So, but now if we switch it into,
We can soft batch putting a reflector on the side.
so you can see remember, the smaller the light source, the more specular it becomes, right? And you can see that in her face, especially in the black and white. You can see how specular those highlights become. Thanks to
It's just clear.
it's a very small light source. Now, one thing about a small light source is that it usually brings out texture, and you can see all the textures in the clothing. And then,
And that's why they use hard light on most of the fashion shoots.
you can
Because
see it.
you're not shooting people, you're shooting clothes.
Right.
And you want the details of the clothes. You want to know what that coat is made of.
The face is not so important. It's this that's important. And in this case, he could have probably brought the light down slightly, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's some ways to fix it. Let's see if
We're
we
just
can fix it with the reflector. There are some ways to make the face a bit more. I would use another light, let's be honest. But let's see if we can fix it as we are challenging ourselves with one light. Let's see if we can do it with a reflector.
Try putting it on the floor.
Putting another what?
Just put it on the floor.
On the. Oh, I cannot hold it.
No, you lay it
If I
down.
hold the camera, I don't hold the reflector.
No, you lay it on the floor.
I don't think you're gonna get the right angle to get all the light out.
You sure?
I don't have anything to hold it.
You got apple boxes.
Yeah. I don't think you're gonna make too much effect that far, but let's try.
Look at your light and see if your light's bouncing in it.
No. Battery's down. I cannot look to my light. I have the modeling lamp. Well, I can actually.
No, if you stand where the bottle is, you should.
Yep. Yeah, it's bouncing.
So that was
Just
kind
give
of
me
a
1
little.
second because my battery died and we probably lost
That's kind of a
the
little
battery.
tip is when you're setting up your reflector, look over your model's shoulder and flash it, and you'll actually see the flash coming through if it's angled properly. Just a little nid tip for people. who
That's for
try.
every light.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we are back room. I'm sorry for that. I have so many batteries and few of them are kind of dying faster and I always forget to take them out of the good ones. Okay, let's get here and shoot. Just tell me if you got the image because I cannot see if something
Yeah.
happened.
It's gonna take a second.
Oh, I can sit in an apple box. Ah.
It's called lazy photographer. So
You cannot see, you guys cannot see, but there are several spins back in this wall. So there is where I sit when I'm shooting. I practically didn't stand up. You got something?
I'm looking. It barely went in.
Yeah, this should be higher. Let me put it in the stand.
Well, it's not so much higher. It's
I don't think it's just the angle because it's not getting enough light. I will do that with another light, you know, that's much easier. But
yeah. The light that's on the floor is the one you usually uses. Actually, if you had it in silver, it would probably work better. This is where silver is actually a good thing.
yeah, probably in silver, it's gonna work from the distance it was, but
Because the silver would reflect more reflection from that light. So you'll actually get more of a one-to-one light pop.
and it will give much more specularity to specular highlights.
Yeah, but there is no specular on clothes. Unless it's got shiny stuff. So now, maneuver it so it points away from her and then points back to her so they can see. In fact, let me transition you here. So they can
What?
maneuver your reflector. So, like, angle it away from the model and then angle it towards the model so you can see the light bouncing on her. Yeah, now go back. Yep, now come back. Notice how that light is moving onto the model as you're maneuvering.
Yeah. But let's be honest here for 1 second.
I think you just froze.
And I think I froze.
Oh,
And
there
I
you
don't
are.
know why.
You're back.
I'm back. To be honest here for 1 second. The light that is reflecting and you will see change. If light, it's the video, okay? Because modeling lamp is not on.
Oh, so you're bouncing from the ceiling light.
I'm bouncing from the ceiling or the video light, something like that.
Oh, I was wondering what
It's gonna have to
I thought you had
be.
your model light on.
It's gonna have to be kind of guessing because if I turn my modeling lamps right now,
Stand
we're
behind her.
gonna
And,
get
stand behind her and look and see if it bounces.
overexposed. Yeah, it bounces in the air.
There you go. See, with the modeling light, you'd actually be able to see where that light's hitting, and then that's how you know if you're hitting the right spot.
Yeah, it would be much faster to set up the lights. Another thing that you can do this, you can stay here, you can just turn it and see what happens to the shadows, or you can just put the modeling lamp on the model and just do this. Pass your hand in front of it. You're gonna see the shadow of your hand hitting her face. If your reflector is not big enough to create a really soft shadow, so probably you can see it.
Yeah,
Why am I here again? Just myself. You need to put your face in this scene.
because I'm over here maneuvering the. There. So now you're looking at the clothing. You can see how it's a lot lighter now because you're using the white, you're not using silver. So it's going to be a very minimal increase. And if we go ahead and put it in color, you'll see a difference.
Okay. What we don't do for our audience. What you don't ask me smiling that I don't do crying.
Come on, Alex. They want to see it.
This is the 5-in-1 reflector. It works as a bouncer, white and golden silver,
And a scrim.
as a diffusion, as a screen, and as a flag with the black side. And I just have to deal with them.
Now, see, I always get two reflectors, and I got one that's already got the white and one that's got the silver. I wish they would just make silver and white together. 'Cause that's usually the two
Yeah, instead
they always use.
of gold that no one's use it.
If anybody out there makes these things, Make them white and silver. Should be nice. Although mine are zebra print, so I get both. Yeah, see, that's much better. It's gonna be a lot more light. And me looking at the image, I mean, I could tell just from the black and white image that this is still dark down at the bottom compared to the top. I didn't like it. Angle it a little bit more down. Yeah. There you go.
Ron, you're seeing the video lights reflection.
I'm looking because I see you level with the camera and I can tell where it's angling.
No. It's got on the top of the reflector.
No, remember you're trying to hit the bottom of the mannequin, not the top.
Yeah, it's hitting the top right now.
Well, I wanted it. You
It's
got to
on
hit
the
it.
top.
You have to hit the bottom. Look from her waist.
Huh?
Look from her waist, not her head. This is adding light in the shadow from her waist. Because the point is you're trying to get the clothing on the bottom to match the clothing on the top.
Let's see. Probably it should be closer.
We shall find out. It's white, so white usually needs to be close.
You got a picture already?
No. There it is. So now you can see it's coming out a little bit. So you can see the darker here. It's coming out here. We switch that back to color. You can see how you're starting to see that material.
Send you one more there.
Yeah, I just heard. So now he's gonna send one more with it. Is it closer? Is that what you did?
No, it's like go down more.
Oh, okay. Well, I can see the light hitting the bottom. It's evening out slowly. You might have to move it closer by probably a half a meter. Yeah, see now you're starting to see that color really nicely.
It's really hard to not see the pictures in the back of the camera.
Now, if we look.
I think this is our last shot for now. I'll come
Yeah.
back to my desk, okay?
Yeah.
To the main
So
side.
now we got this last one here. We'll put all three there. So now you can totally see the color, which is great. And now you can see how he had it far back. What was it, like meter and a half away from her? For that middle one. And then this one was the white. And then this one was silver up closer, halfway to the distance. And you can see now this one shows lots of detail. It has lots of material that it's showing, and let's see. So if we go to color, now looking at the color, this was the distance one, this one was white, and this one was silver. So looking at the difference, this one you could see the material really well. material looks good in this one compared to the other ones. This one is just too dark. You're starting to lose in those shadows a little bit. You can see it from a distance. The best part is you want it to shine. And down here, you're losing a lot of that shine. Whereas over here, it's not losing that shine. And all this is with one light. So.
And you can do much more. I guess one thing that is important to say is that it doesn't matter if I do this if I shoot these images here, and if you don't do it yourself. Photography is, I don't know, 80% experimentation. You cannot just learn it by watching people doing it. You need to do it. So these are few setups with one light.
So now you're also seeing the shadow is the same, except for this last one, which he had angled a little too up, but it could have kept the same shadow.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
But I'm showing how, no matter how you use the reflector, here you threw it in the shadow a little bit, which you'd probably want to angle it a little more down so to hit that bottom. But these are almost.
It will never. The point is, the reflector is a bouncing light, so it will never be a 1-to-1 ratio. So you will never erase that shadow. You can make it better, but take that shadow down is impossible.
It's not impossible.
Huh?
It's not impossible.
With just a reflector?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to put both lights very close to each other.
Probably. Trying to figure out where I am.
Just hope I didn't miss any focus. Gonna hear a noise, it's just me getting to my phone, okay?
Yeah, and then looking at this, once this silver reflector came in, it also bounced enough light to kind of mask out the luminosity that was in the dress itself. I don't know if you noticed that. Adding that extra light to the outside allowed the material to show itself instead of showing through it. So that's another big plus. But anyway, yeah, super easy, super simple. And amazingly enough, no one has any questions yet.
And even more amazing, the tech didn't screw up us.
Oh, I was screwing up. We just didn't see it.
The tech screw up?
I don't know. Did I screw up, guys? Let us know in the comments. I'm sure.
I don't think it's the tech screw up us. I think it was really good. I think I show my butt to the camera a lot.
Yeah, but it was only
that,
I think was this big, so you should be okay. So anyway,
I think it was a good show.
There's 3 different lighting setups with the one light setup with a small reflector. So you're talking about probably the minimal amount of money that you're going to have to spend. You could do this with a regular light, like one of the constant lights. You could do this with a Fresnel. You could do this with a full-blown strobe like we use today. You can use an AD200. You can use any flash you could use and do the same thing.
And you can use even LED bulbs from your house will be the same thing.
Well, no, that'll be ISO.
You're not gonna get everything the same settings. But the theory of the light, the theory we are talking about, how to set your light, how to put your light in place, how to use the reflector to create separation, to fill in the shadows, It's the same theory. You can do it with a flashlight if you want.
Yep. And, one thing I like to tell people is when you set up your lights, okay, one thing that's important is you always want that kind of like a 45 degree, right? Unless you're doing beauty. So let's just say I don't have a pole.
You don't have what?
I'm looking for something that I could utilize. This will work. All right. So say I'm the model, right? That's 45 degrees. So wherever my head goes,
No, that's your forehead.
yeah, but from me, that's 45 degrees, right? So wherever my head goes, notice where the light should go. Head goes this way, light should be over here. If I want it this way, right? If I want it this way, light over here. Okay, if I want it 45 that way, it's the same thing. So now I'm lighting the
and
short side.
Okay, let's come back to that part is very important. So show the first 45 degrees. That's so turn your face to the light now. That would be short or broad light.
This is short light. Well, no, this is broad light.
No, that's broad light. And
Yeah.
the
Light
other
would be
way.
over here.
Oh, can you do
Broadside.
what you because this short and broad light was something that I always had to think to know which one I'm using.
Yeah.
But you have something about the nose that is really cool. Can you share with our audience so they get the pointing the nose and where is the camera? So
Okay, so say camera's on axis where we're at here, right? Broadside is always the widest side of the head, okay? Anytime the nose points to a light, you're on a short side. So my main is over here, right? So my nose points to the light, I'm hitting the short side of the face, shadow comes on this side. Well, let me do this.
you have to turn off the kicker.
So now you can see the shadow side of the face here. I just turned off my film. And
Okay.
you can see how my short side is lit. This is the short side. Now, when you turn people's faces, don't always keep it within the face line, no matter where they're at. Try to keep it inside that
there's-
face line. The
There
other
is the
part
ear thing and there is the nose thing.
Yeah. The other part is that if you're going to break it sideways. And I have a bad profile, so don't care. So now the other thing is you can look at an ear. Okay. If you want to have a 45 degree head or a very nice head that doesn't show double ears, because if you see two ears, one ear is usually a different size than the other. That's just point blank. The other part is if they have big ears, they'll look really big. We're talking like Dopey style, right? If they're showing. Okay?
We call it Volkswagen style. Do you remember the Beetle?
Or monkey style. Oh, something like that. So when you do that, all you do is you take the ear and you pull it just beyond the face. So no matter what, this side, you can pull it just beyond the face.
Yeah,
So-
it seems a lot to think, but with time, it gets
gets easy.
easier and easier.
Yeah.
It starts to be second nature. So,
The
just,
key to
for now,
this
just
is-
make a checklist
Right.
and keep the checklist with you. With time, will be second nature.
The key is take the nose, point it to the light. That way you're always in a short light. Now, if you do want to do a broad light, just remember, point it away from the light and you got a broad light. See how wide this is from here to here compared to here to here? Short, long. Point it at the light, you got short light, long shadow. And the best part about it is if you point your nose to the light and you got a kicker back here, right? Look at how I got this nice little glow
You can
right
just
here.
see it. Oh, even the picture there is in our thumbnail is an example of that.
Right. So, and if you point your nose to the light and your kicker is behind them, you won't get the kicker on the nose.
But that's the most important part of photography. Getting
That's
the
the
kicker
part
in the
that he
nose.
couldn't get. So,
I got it. I stopped with that. But it
anyway,
was a big thing for me because I always put. Let's put it this way: I learned photography by myself. Rome teach me a bit. Philip teach me a bit. But I went through the process of learning before meeting Rome, and no one told me the kicker's not supposed to hit the nose. No one told me that, so I learned it the hard way.
anyway, and the images show. I mean, it really does show a difference. It shows what you're doing. It shows that you understand that a kicker's not supposed to hit the front of the face. It's called a kicker for a reason. And other than that, I mean, that's the show. I mean, you guys have any ideas or want to hear something, want to know something, don't forget to subscribe, like us, leave
That's
a
very
comment.
important to watch our other shows, even the ones that are not so good in audio quality, but they have good information.
Yeah. So we're here every Sunday, 10 o'clock, and we'll come up with something else to show you. But if you guys do want us to do something specific, let us know and we will get it done. So
Hit us on Instagram, on Facebook, on our Facebook group. In the comments, just leave a comment if you have some
Instagram.
topic we should talk about it.
I mean, we're everywhere. So, and we're taking our time out to basically give you information of what you're looking for. And this was one of the comments we had gotten is somebody wanted to know the difference between black and white and why we use it. Well, now you got it. We use it because we just want to see how much light intensity is coming off of the individual. Plus, if he used his gray card, you would have seen that spike would have been perfect because it's in black and white.
And there is the other point, like if you set your white balance right and you get your exposure right, you can just leave your camera on monochrome for the rest of the day because the colors will be on point. You don't need to worry about it.
Feel
And
like.
then you can just pay attention on the specular highlights, the diffuse highlights. You can just pay attention on your light.
Exactly. And lighting is really the most important part because that's what we paint with. I mean, that's what we do. And, it's like a painter using paints, right? They use black and white. Well, they're going to use different shades of black and white, and they have to mix in the white to get the gray. And then how much white are they adding is how much light you're adding to get the gray. So it's basically the same thing. And we paint with light. So if you don't have enough light, it's nice to see in the gray tones because you're taking away out the color. And there's a lot of times I have to find that one image that we used in photography school where they showed two of the same color grays, but because it's in color, you see two different colors.
Yep.
And, it's black and white makes it black and white and shades of gray. But in color, you can be confused in your mind. I'm sure people have seen those little mind bogglers where you see a bunch of white squares all the way around and you see these little black dots that go running all over the place and you can't freaking catch them, right? Yeah.
And there is any black dots pulling
Right.
out.
So, but that's geometrics. But other than that, this was a good show. I liked it.
It was.
What do you guys think?
Okay.
What do you think of the new format? You want to see more? Something?
Let's go lunch because it's late here.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I have a shoot.
So anyway, I am Romeo Versace Giovanni.
And I'm Alex Costa.
And I don't know.
We see
come
you
up with-
guys.
you could come up
next
with
Sunday.
something. Anyway, peace. We're still live. We're doing like behind the scenes, still live, I guess. Try to figure out how to get this thing off.
Want me
Anyway,
to do it?
well, I gotta find my mouse. I have that reverse thing. There we go.